If you are going to remember just one thing about this video, remember this. Always pay attention to how much rent per square foot the tenant is paying and ask yourself, if the tenant leaves or not renew the lease, what are the probabilities that I can find another tenant willing and able to pay the same amount of rent? But if Starbucks leaves or not renew the lease, and the only thing that you can find is a tenant that can only pay $100,000 in annual rent, then the value of the property would be half the price you paid. And ouch, that one is really costly. This one is the most critical. So stay with me until the end because I am going to give you some eye-opening examples. Hi, my name is Alex Casablanca. We are a boutique brokerage firm based in Orlando, Florida, specializing in selling triple net investment properties. We represent triple net buyers and 1031 exchange investors as well in finding and negotiating the best triple net property according to their investment goals and risk tolerance. The number 5 most critical mistake to avoid when buying a triple net lease property that no one talks about. Buying a triple net property in which the tenant pays a substantially higher annual rent and rent per square foot, that in the event that the existing tenant would leave early or not renew the lease, it would be almost impossible to find another tenant willing and able to pay the same amount of rent. But let's decompress this situation real quick. I am going to give you just one simple example of that. Let's take as an example a typical Starbucks that occupies a small 2,700 square feet building that it is located in a prime top retail corner. To be in that location, Starbucks had no other choice but to pay a hefty annual rent. Let's say $200,000 per year might be the average, and commit to a 10 years lease. A $200,000 annual rent will mean that Starbucks is paying a humongous $74 per square foot in that location. And now the question is, if at the end of the lease, Starbucks might decide not to renew the lease and leave, what are the probabilities for you as an owner to find another tenant willing and able to pay the same $74 per square foot on that building? I can tell you right out of the bat, it would be very difficult, considering that there are no other coffee brands with that financial capacity of paying such a high rent. Certainly, you can find another tenant, but it is not about finding another tenant. It is about finding another tenant that can pay the same $74 a foot that Starbucks was paying. That's the only way to restore the same value of the property. And that is why the mistake is so costly. Going back to that $200,000 annual rent that Starbucks was paying, at a cap rate of 5%, the value of that property would have been $4 million. But if Starbucks leaves or not renew the lease, and the only thing that you can find is a tenant that can only pay $100,000 in annual rent, then the value of the property would be half the price you paid. In other words, if the new tenant can only pay $100,000 in annual rent instead of the $200,000 that Starbucks was paying, now the new value of the property will be just $2 million. So half of the price that you pay for. And ouch, that one is really costly. And no one out there are talking about that risk. If you are going to remember just one thing about this video, remember this. Always pay attention to how much rent per square foot the tenant is paying and ask yourself, if the tenant leaves or not renew the lease, what are the probabilities that I can find another tenant willing and able to pay the same amount of rent? Buying a triple net property will be one of the most important financial decisions that you will ever make as an investor. When you buy a triple net property, you want to be at peace when you buy the property. You want to be at peace 1 year from the day you purchase the property, and you want to be at peace 10 years from the day you purchase the property. So it is very important that you pay attention to those small details and avoid at all costs those critical mistakes. Of course, those are not the only critical mistakes that you could make as an investor, but those 5 are very, very costly. Hiring an experienced and knowledgeable buyer's broker that can assist you navigating the complexities of the market would definitely help you to avoid those critical mistakes. We specialize in representing triple net lease buyers and 1031 exchange investors. We have the knowledge and expertise to guide you along the way, from market research, identifying potential properties, submitting offers and negotiating them, due diligence, up to the closing table. We have helped many triple net buyers and 1031 exchange investors in finding and negotiating the best triple net property according to their investment goals and risk tolerance. Moreover, we represent our buyers for free since we get paid from the seller. And we also pay for our buyers' closing costs up to a maximum of $10,000. This incentive will offset and in some instances will cover completely the major buyer's closing cost expenses, such as title fees, attorney's fees, recording fees, among others. We are the brokers that give you more in exchange of your trust. If you have any questions or might need guidance with your upcoming triple net lease property acquisition, feel free to contact me directly and I will be in contact with you. Well, you got all the way into the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching the video entirely. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos about triple net lease properties. If you want to know more about the best triple net properties to buy for your 1031 exchange or for your triple net acquisition, you can watch this video here that will tell you how to do it. So thank you so much again for watching this video, and I'm looking forward to be your broker in your next triple net property acquisition. Have a great day.